Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you live around the world. In the last couple of videos, I've been mentioning and showing the option of having a fabricated hub. And that's what I'm calling it because you have to bend it or weld it. So it's fabricated in my mind. And I was quite impressed because I found it quite easy to draw. Whereas previously, through, I don't know why, I found it difficult to draw. And it turned out that it was all to do with the end of the struts, whether they are cut on an angle like this, making it easy to draw the hub, or whether it's square, making the hub a little bit more difficult to draw because the components would be tapered. It was just probably my inability to draw it in the past that coloured my version, my opinion on this version of hub. Now that I can draw it easily because of the square nature of each of the plates, very easy to do in fact, I re-looked at it. Yes, it would need welding, but hey, if I had to find a friendly welder somewhere, that might not be the biggest issue when I wind up with a really nice hub. Add to that thought process the fact that I can, have a hub that is very similar, it is, and very similar to some of the nicest and biggest domes that I've seen, and I thought, wow, why not have a look at it again, which I've been doing. In fact, I even went to the extent of drawing some of the other hubs. So, yay. I've gone through the exercise. But this one, I've kind of inserted the bolts into the hub so that I can, better understand the implications of it or the requirements. And one of the requirements are, be really careful where you position your bolts or your screws, because they can pop out the surface. That's because this strut, if it were to be placed in its, air quotes, correct geometric position, is lower than the adjacent one. How is that possible? Well, we should know by now that when we stick in our, this case, honeycomb, the line going through the middle of the strut is in the plane of the dome. Well, it would be if you go from point to point along the surface of the dome. So this is technically the correct height for the strut to meet the criteria that we're setting ourselves. Now, there is absolutely no reason whatsoever that you can't lift this strut up to meet these other struts. But in doing so, you then have problems if you want to clad it with a rigid cladding or put dihedral angles, etc., on this. Dihedral angles is a wee bit of a red herring for most, in that you don't need it. So you don't have to follow that concept. So lifting up the strut to a position that you think is better is quite viable. So let's just say that we have to lift this up, and it's not much, to be fair, and it's only 6 millimeters. It's not much, is it? Can we lift it up 6 millimeters up in this point here? Yep, by the looks of it. So no problem, we can do that. Okay, so we can. So it's not an issue. Okay, I'll accept that. I'm not playing smart with yous. So we can lift it up. And if we wanted any dihedral angle to be cut or to be made, let's do it on the battens. And I've said that in the past. You can actually size your battens so you can get back to your dihedral angles, and rigid cladding can be. Anyway, we can do that. So that's not a problem. Okay, so the welding might be a problem. Yeah, that is, because one of the criteria I had right at the get-go was, this is the sort of project, the dome, that I want to be, in my mind, be able to do in an average woodworker's workshop. Well, this is not it. So it gets a negative mark. It is downgraded because of the welding aspect or the bending aspect. The thickness of the steel, I would suggest, would have to be fairly beefy. 4 to 5 millimeters at least. I'd say 5 just by guess. But it wouldn't be the light piece of steel that we'd be able to bend up easily in a workshop if we were going to be putting bends in this. Remembering it's square, not tapered, like the other more ones that you've seen in other photos. The Alt Bar type of dome, very, very nice. That's actually probably one of the nicest domes structures. So, yeah. But if you're going to be making them yourself, and then I started thinking about it again, and I thought, well, really what we need to do with that screw or bolt is to angle it down so it doesn't stick out the surface, assuming I'm going to leave the struts in its position here. And I thought, oh, crikey, that's almost like going back to the problem I mentioned about the steel tubular hub. And then it hit me again. That's why I like the steel tubular hub. Isn't this just a odd-shaped steel tube? So if I were to want to fabricate up a hub, shouldn't I just use a steel tube? The approach that I had moved towards was having the bottom, how would you say, bolt square to the surface of the strut, which is cut at an angle, which is square to the surface of the tube. Okay, so it's got a radius in it, but we can deal with that. So that would be the better orientation for the bolt. Well, I might as well use a tube, which I can get at a local merchant's, cut to a length that I want, put my bolts in. It is no less effective than this shape. Period. Done. Finished. Move on, David. And I thought, dang. So where I only a few days ago was seriously looking at this as a contender for the average woodworking workshop, it now no longer is. I will do a little bit more work on it so that anyone, the 2.5 people watching this specific style of video on a very niche market, for YouTube at least, for people watching, they can see that I've done some of the work. If they want to reach out to me and want to make it this series of videos include this a little bit more, I will, cater to the market. But it really starts to lose its appeal because of the need to fabricate it. If I was a welder, I'd be seriously looking at this, because it is a nice looking hub, I've got to say. Steel tubular hub is, I think, quite nice as well. So, I suppose, all said and done, I may relegate this back to the nice to have, but difficult to build, therefore not really as much interest as I once did. And that's really where I went to with the steel tubular hub, to the tabbed plate hubs. How difficult or how easy is it to make? And I'd stayed away from the plate, the tabbed plates, the star type plates that are quite popular in other nice looking domes. I went away from that because I was set in my mind that it had to be laser cut, and ideally they would be. But because this is, and I can't go to those companies because they're not building the type of dome I want. So, yeah. And I don't want to go to companies to buy items when I can build them myself in the average woodworking workshop. So, dilemma. Go away from hubs altogether. That's why I was looking. So you can see the development of the idea. Go to, like there's other, like Paul Robinson does the split, splits the strut at the dihedral angle and then reverses and makes up the triangles and fixes the triangles together. A lot of people do that. Now, whether he created that idea or not, don't know. He's the guy that I would be looking towards to that sort of dome, and it works very well, but it doesn't suit me. Trillion domes here. Now, that guy is, him and his partner make the domes, all sorts of domes. I think he uses a similar approach. Don't know. I haven't looked at his stuff for a while, but they're actually building the domes that he gets on with it and does it. Me, I'm still talking about it. I may never build the dome, but I suggest that in the next couple of months you'll be starting to see components being built, if only for the exercise. But I'll be building. Don't worry. I will be building one in this size and this orientation, if not this one. In those over winter, coming into spring. So yippee. So settling on a hub or non-hub design is quite important. Fortunately, I enjoy doing the drawing as an exercise and to exorcise the demons running around in my head saying, oh yeah, but this might be a good idea. So I've done it. I'm looking at this again. I'm even going to draw up the tapered version of it just to see how difficult it is or isn't. Again. So wait for that as well. What I want and what other people want, I've got no idea. Some areas there'll be overlap, some will be quite divergent and different. So it may be that you do want to do this. Well, in SketchUp, I'm showing an alternative to the conventional tapered ones that you might look at and go, oh, of course, that's easy. Get the dimensions of the metal, make a wee wooden template up or something of its required size or shape, and set to and weld up the joints. Very doable. The surfaces are therefore easy to drill because it'll be square. You can drill them first before you fabricate them. Probably an idea. You could have the heights of the holes at different levels. Yeah, you could do all that. So for some people, this would be quite doable. Their welding skills would match their enthusiasm, because my enthusiasm is virtually zero for this now because of the welding and the issues I've just brought up. I'd probably use a steel tubular hub. I've done all the work on them, so I'm happy with that. Can I be convinced to go this route? If someone were to stand beside me and say, hey Dave, I'll do the welding for you if you want it. Well, I might be, but that's not the case. So there you go. A bit of a shame, really, because but I'll carry on doing the models because, as I say, I do like the exercise. But really, I think I'll be looking at the steel tubular hub, the tabbed plate, or no hubs at all for most of the upcoming drawings. Now, you can grill me and ask me, okay, stop dithering about, Dave. Make a decision, grow a backbone and make a decision, all those sorts of things. Well, you could try that, but I still don't know which way I will go. It's almost certainly that if I can create the tabbed plate type of hub, I'll be going that way. That's almost certain. But if I get out into the workshop and start cutting it and it doesn't look tidy enough, and it should be, then I might reevaluate. It's the finish of the item that's important to me. However, to be fair, those underbends can hide a lot of my sins if I don't get the tabs and that cut neatly enough. And it's that, as I say, it's the finish of the item. Be that it's hidden. Seems a bit redundant, doesn't it? Anyway, here we go. just thought I'd make this short-ish video. Don't know. I still feel a little bit cheated that I can't build this. If I wanted to, this is about 90 mils deep, by the way. So as on the bottom, you can see the same issue with the struts. You know, how high they are. If I were to lift all the struts to a fairly common point, would I change my mind? I'd probably lift them to the bottom points so they look tidier. But then if I add the battens, well, look, I don't know. In this case here, you'd put a plate over the bottom and you bring the battens up to the plate, a timber plate, that is. I don't know. Have to think about it more. Personal preference, isn't it, people? We all have those. You know, it's a perennial question. You know, what is your favourite fill in the blank? So yeah, and we're all different. Okay. Don't know. I'll carry on. I'll make more videos, but I might go back to the tabbed plate as my. I'll put it this way. Here's what have I got a list or a hierarchy? There's a word. Hierarchy of preferences. Yes. Tab plate, tubular hub, no hubs whatsoever. This one. So it's not off the list, it's at the bottom of the list of preferences. So tabbed plate, tubular hub, no hubs whatsoever, although that would probably still require reinforcement depending on the structure. And then this one. So yeah, that's probably number 4 on the list of 4. Rightio, that's it. I'm off, out to the workshop, going to do some of the things that I've mentioned in other videos that will help us build a dome. Hey. Okay, see you later now. Bye.